रंग डारी पाव के कुंड नह के जल में प्रेम रंग दई बोर जस की चास लगाए के रे खूब रंगी चक चोर सतगुर है रंग रेज चुन
Hello, welcome to satsang everyone. We will start today with a piano piece by Manas, Beethoven's first piano sonata, first movement. Then we have a joke by Michael, and then a joke by Vises, topic is Anurag Sagar. After that, we have 5 minutes meditation and master's YouTube talk, and then we will do group meditation with love and devotion. Let's start. Thank you so much.
It gives attention. There is nothing wrong with your world. It is your thinking.
Thank you, Manas, for the beautiful piano. We loved it, and we loved all these pictures of Master. Wow, so beautiful. Just filled our eyes this morning with godliness. When we see the Master in whatever way, it fills our eyes with pearls and jewels and divine pearls of God. Thank you so much for your seva. We all enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it. And my dear Holy Family, welcome to Satsang, another day where we sit all together in the warmth of our perfect masters, the Satgurus, in the warmth of Father God, in the warmth of eternity. That in Satsang, we all become one. All the drops, all the drops of God gather together, and we put our attention on the Father. And He's also a mother. He's a father, a mother, a brother, and a sister. Everything is God. We put our attention on God, and the drops get connected and become one in the name of the Holy One. That the lover and the loved become one in loving. The seeing, the seer and the seen become one in seeing, and the hearer and the heard become one in hearing. That we put our attention on the divine and we all become one. Whatever words come out in the name of the Master, whatever we see, like what Manas was playing, his music, we heard the music and we have seen the godly images, and the seer and the seen have become one in seeing. And then the lover and the beloved become one in loving. As we are here all sitting together in the school of love, we are all majoring in love. We are all majoring in love, and at some point we're going to get our PhD in love and graduate. And that is when we become perfect disciples, when we become gurumukhs, when the lunatic inside of us has been contained. As each one of us has a saint inside of him and a lunatic, a madman or a mad woman that wants to cause suffering, wants to cause cries, and wants to always disobey and do the opposite of the godly things. Each one of us have that lunatic living. And by the grace of the Master, that lunatic in us slowly will become contained and will become leashed with the golden leash of the Master. That ultimately the mind inside of us will be contained and will be under our beck and call, and we will not be slaves of the mind, but with the help of the Master, with the help of the Perfect One, that lunatic inside of us will be tied down, and we can enjoy our true living, what we were destined to be, the godly life, the life of soul, where we can use our soul to travel, to speak, to hear, to walk without the body, we can talk with no tongue, we can speak with no tongue, we can travel with no feet, and we can do everything with the power of the soul. This is when we go beyond the mind and start to traverse the spiritual regions by the grace of the Master as he keeps purifying us. Now, when we start on the path, we are like hoarders. Hoarders. Have you ever seen a house of a hoarder? Somebody who just accumulated everything in his house and cannot move because of his desires of having material things. He or she, I have seen houses of hoarders. Have you ever seen? They just put everything, and you enter, you don't even see anything because of all the things that they have, they don't want to get rid of, they are attached to, and they keep it into their house. And this is our situation when we start on the path. We are like hoarders. We have hoarded so many desires, so many attachments, and so many material things from this life, and attachments and desires from even the past lives, that our house is full like a hoarder. And this is the job of the master. When we come to him, then he starts to unpack us. He starts to throw away everything that is unnecessary on the way of love, as we cannot carry all these things with us when we go on the journey of love. All these things have to be left behind, and we have to be free, be left free to travel lightly without no baggage, and only ultimately just the soul stays, and everything else is unburdened, everything else is discarded. Whatever is unnecessary in our life ultimately has to be discarded. Whatever we are attached to has to necessarily to be on the path of life. We have to be detached. We have to be detached from these things. So this is the journey of love, where we become lighter and lighter, day and day after day, day after day. And satsang, which is service to the master. We are all doing seva to the master. And seva to the master is the fastest way to meet God realization, is the fastest way to win the grace of the master. Devotional service, they call it. Devotional service. In any way we can do, whatever we can do in service in the name of the mission of the master. It doesn't have to be in just satsang, but it can be in daily life. I was I was opening a book and I found one of the brochures. And in 1997, when I got initiated by my holy master Sant Singh, I used to give out these brochures. It's called Meditation, the Way to Inner Peace. I used to stand on Michigan Avenue and give them for hours. And I used to give them in my car when I was at work to customers who come with me. And I used to have a pack of them in the back, and people will see them. And then they will get to know something about meditation, the way to inner peace. Meditation is a great, powerful tool. And then when they read it, like it's so, so beautiful. It says, why are we here? And why are we here? And meditation and the purpose of life and who Santakar Singh is. And then like quotes from him, the inner music of the soul contains all bliss, harmony, and peace. In it we find the only everlasting enjoyment. So we can do seva in any type of way, and Master will arrange a way for us to do a seva. If we just have the heart and the desire to just keep going fast, the fastest way, the saints say, the fastest way to God realization is seva, selfless service in the name of the Master, where we expect nothing and we just serve. We just serve for the joy of serving. We just serve for the joy of giving. And in service, when we do service to the Master, it's a great joy. It's a beautiful, beautiful feeling that comes from within. The soul becomes very happy when it is doing something in the name of the Master. Everything becomes so beautiful when we are serving the Master. And this is the fastest really way to just proceed on the path of love. And Ishwar Puri ji said that seva is like cash. Seva is like cash, it goes directly into our bank account, and it is even more powerful than meditation. Because meditation, we might sit we close our eyes, and you know how hard it is to meditate and how hard it is to contain the mind, and not always we are successful. We might sit all night long, and from that all night long, maybe get few minutes where the mind is contained, and then the soul is enjoying in the higher regions, few moments per night. But seva for the master, doing anything in the name of the master without expecting anything back, and yeah, without expecting anything back in return, that puts just, it is like meditation. It is like meditation. That time we put in seva is like meditation. And then after we do service of the master, after we serve master, Then we go sit in meditation. Then the meditation becomes a bliss. Meditation becomes much better after we serve the Master. So, so service is something beautiful that we can all find something to do in the name of the Master. And he is genius. Master is genius. He will give us ideas how to serve him. There are people who serve him in all types of ways and means, whatever we can do. Yeah, and those who cannot do anything, they can also serve him in meditation. They can sit in meditation and offer their meditation to Master and God. This is also, Ishwar Puriji said that this is also very powerful. So I wanted, in my introduction today, I wanted to read to you a couple of poems from Rumi today. I wanted to read from Maulana Rumi. Um, and this poem, I love this poem. Oh, let me read the poem before. Okay. My friend, is sugar better than the one who made the sugar? This poem is so beautiful. It's about, you know how we run after the things of this world? Whether even like something that we taste good, like fruits, or something we see beautiful, like a flower, or the moon, or the sun. And we look at it, but we don't really think of the one who made it, the one who made sugar, the one who made the sun, the one who made the flower, the one who made the moon, the gorgeous moon, or the gorgeous night sky, or the gorgeous dawn. All these things, if we just, when we see them, if we just remember the one that made them and thank that one that made them, and imagine who is sweeter, the sugar or the one that made the sugar. Like when we think this way, this is also gratitude. Gratitude that brings more and more and more grace in our daily life. As everything, we are sitting in God here, and everything we see is just the creation of Lord God. And when we start to see everything as God and have gratitude for everything that we see, we hear, we feel, we touch, that is also brings the grace of the Master. My friend, is sugar better than the one who made the sugar? My friend, is the moon beautiful or the one who created the moon? Never mind sugar, never mind the moon. He has something else. He does something different. There are so many amazing things in the sea besides the pearl. But the Sultan who created the sea and made the pearls is a different Sultan. He keeps turning this amazing wheel constantly with different water than this water. He prepares food for the soul. Even a picture of the public bathhouse cannot be drawn without mind. Think about the knowledge of the one who created the mind. You can't make oil from suet, not without knowledge. Think of the one who gave power of seeing to the eye that looks like suet. Souls are amazed and confused, for the assembly is set for early dawn. They can't eat and drink. They don't know what to do. What a happy night that was. The beloved from whom every moon feels longing put his hands around my waist and covered me like a belt. This is, in this poem, he's talking about the early morning hours, how they bring bliss in meditation. And he's talking how he met the inner master, the beloved, and how the beloved put his hands around his waist and covered me like a belt. That master really hugs us within and gives us a shield and puts a belt around us, a belt of love. The firmament will laugh at the fool who makes himself a donkey for 2 or 3 donkeys. This donkey jumps to gold like the other donkey does to barley, but doesn't know the Sultan who changes stones to jewels, that we run after the creation, but not after the Creator. This is in this poem, he's saying that we are running after the creation, not after the Creator. I become silent and quiet. I become silent and quit talking, so the beloved who gives sight to the eye will talk. In silence, silence speaks. Silence speaks because when we are silent, that is when our mind is silent and the soul rises, then the soul starts to speak. The beloved starts to speak inside of us. That is the music, the heavenly music of the spheres, the Shabd. Okay, another poem. My sun, my moon came, my ear, my eye came, my silver body came, my gold mind came, the drunkenness of my head came, the light of my eye came. What else you ever want, that came. The one who has staged a hold up on my way came. The one who broke my repentance came. That jasmine-budded Joseph suddenly came into my arms. Joseph was a saint at that time. That jasmine-budded Joseph suddenly came into my arms. Old friend, today is better than yesterday. I was drunk because of him yesterday. Today I received news. I received news from him, the friend I was looking for, with a candle last night, came my way like a bouquet of roses today. Master, it's so fresh, like a bouquet of roses, like a bouquet of roses. The inner master is. He made a belt of his hands, embraced me, and held me in his arms. I obtained an unseen belt from that beauty, who is the crown to every beautiful head. Wow, this poem is so deep. I obtained an unseen belt from that beauty, who is the crown to every beautiful head. All the lovers of God have that royal crown. We are all royal, and our caste is royal. Our caste is royal. We are the children of God, and that is what makes us different. That we have come in contact with the holy light, with the holy sound. We have come in contact with the perfect saint, the agent of God in this world, the God manifestation in this world. And when we came in contact with that love, with that pure love, with that oceans of love, oceans of divinity, it put a crown on our head, the royal crown. And that is the seal of God, the seal of God on our forehead. That when the Master initiates us, he puts his double. He puts his double inside of us, in our forehead, in the form of the radiant form, in the radiant form that sits here at the third eye center. This Baba Sawan Singh says that this is how the masters know who is initiated and who is not. That the inner radiant form is on the forehead of that person who's initiated, and that double of the master reports to the master. So the master and does all the works for the master. Sometimes the physical master does not know what's happening to his disciple, yet he can know everything from his double. And in cases of emergency, the double of the master, he reports to the master. That's what Baba Sawan Singh says in the cases of emergency. And if the master needs ever to know, then he will know everything about the disciple from that inner form that he puts in the disciple at the time of initiation. Look at his garden and meadow. Watch his wine and drunkenness. Pay attention to his eating and assimilating, because my rose marmalade came. Why should I be afraid of death? when a fountain of life like him came. Wow. Why should I be scared? Why, why should I be afraid of death when a fountain of life like him came? He is the life of our life. Why should I be scared of reproaches when I obtained a shield like him? He's our shield in this world. I am Solomon. Solomon was a perfect master. I am Solomon today because you gave me the ring. That crown which deserves the Sultan has come and landed on my head. Wow, my suffering has gone beyond that. I set out on a journey with love. My God, what a happiness I get! What a happiness! It is time to drink wine. We're drinking the godly wine right now. And not only on the physical plane, but we have an astral body that's going to satsang in the astral plane. We have a causal body that's going in the causal plane to satsang. And our soul in the kingdom of God is also enjoying the bliss of Master from this satsang. It is time to drink wine. I'll drink so my mind will have lightning. It is time to fly because my wings have come. It is time to shine like early dawn, to brighten the world. It is time for roaring because my male lion has come. Beloved, a few more verses remain, but they took me out of myself to somewhere else. This world is looking awfully small to me from there. Wow, he's saying that in the company of the lovers, that his soul transcends. Just like when I was in the company of Sant Singh, and he started speaking, and he used to start speaking in Oregon, and I'm sitting there, closing my eyes, and all of a sudden, not just me, but so many people were out of body. He took us out of body by that love, by that pull of love. It is so easy to go out of body by the pull of love in the company of the lovers. It is so easy to be pulled within. This is the blessings that come when we all meet in the name of the perfect Master. When we meet all in the name of the perfect Master, the pull of love cannot be described. And that pull of love pulls us within if we are concentrated. The only thing that we have to do is concentrate, put our attention fully on satsang, put our attention fully on our Holy Master, and He will pull us. He will pull us. He is sitting right there inside of us, waiting for us to put our attention on Him. And when we put our attention on Him, the pull is very easy. The pull is very easy. And we can all, even after satsang, the special grace is still there. And all what we have to do after satsang, if we concentrated and put all our attention on Master, then when we sit for meditation, then we get to taste that bread of life, that manna of life, the water of life that has been poured on us. We can also get to taste it within us. We grow wings. We can have glimpses of the inner worlds by the grace of the Master. Nothing happens without grace. If we ever see anything inside, if we ever experience anything inside, that is all grace. That is all the grace of the Master. As without the grace of the Master, we can never contain the mind, and the mind will not let us traverse into the inner regions. It will block us. Will not want us to go beyond it. So only by the grace of the Master, He puts a foot on the mind, and the soul can fly, and the soul can go towards God, towards its true home, towards its divinity, and gets the wine, the true wine of God that is offered within. like all the saints and masters describe it, the wine of God, the nectar of God. It's all within us, and we can just go inside and have a cup and have a taste. Whenever we see the inner light inside of us, or hear the inner sound inside of us, or see the form of the Master inside of us, that is nectar, that is wine, especially if we see the inner Master. Now that wine cannot be described. It's the most vintage wine, the oldest wine of creation. As the Ancient One pours his love on us in a form of a drishti inside. Now that is
See all of you again. And I mentioned in the morning the importance of seeking in your heart, in your mind, if you want to find the spiritual path through a perfect living master. It is not necessary to go outside anywhere. You can sit at home and do it. It has to be done with your internal seeking, not with the desire to get some worldly gain, but with the desire to go back home. Only if you feel that time has come for you to go back home. If you don't feel like it, then don't even try it. Just have a good time. But I want to tell you one thing. If you are a seeker and want to go back home and seek within your heart, even the remaining part of your life will undergo a change, and you will find that you can make heaven upon this earth also. That's a very big change. You can make that change of converting this physical life with pain and pleasure and all the problems, all the disappointments, all the difficulties. You can make it into a heavenly place by seeking within and looking out as if you are watching a show. It is a show. It is a show that you are experiencing through your sense perceptions. Even today, scientists have realized that what they thought was absolute reality, physical reality, is only known to them or anybody else because of our perception. Whether you use a telescope or a microscope or see with these eyes, if you don't see in any way, you don't see, there's nothing existing. So what you see is what exists. When you can see more, more exists. That's how we have been discovering this world. So they are also accepting. It's our perception that is creating our reality. If you have one moment to look into the inner reality, how does this outer reality work? By going within and looking at how it operates. And then look out, you'll see you're projecting a show. It is like watching a movie. When you go and watch a movie in a theater, your eyes are fixed on the screen. Everything is happening there. You are very affected by it. You laugh, you cry. Bad things happen, good things happen. On the screen, you don't leave your seat. You don't leave your chair to go and interfere in what is happening in the movie. Because you know it's a movie. Simple awareness that it's a movie makes you enjoy the good and the bad equally. It's just a movie. You identify with many characters. That is why you cry. That's why you laugh. But you know it's a movie, and knowing it's a movie helps you to not get involved with it. not get into a fight with it, not got into an interference with it. This is a movie. But we don't sit on our chairs, we run to the screen. We interfere, we get involved. Which is that chair from which we can see it as a movie? That chair we know in the theatre, we buy a ticket and we go sit in our chair. Which is the chair that will make this life of ours a movie? That chair is right behind your eyes at what is called the third eye center. If you can practice only that much meditation, no more. Just the ability to close your eyes and see that you are not the body, you are sitting inside the body, in the head, on a nice chair. If you can do that much, you open your eyes and see from there. Don't see from the body, see from there. This will be a movie. As simple as that. When the world becomes a movie, you interfere in it, totally your life changes. There is one difference in this movie and the movie you see in the theatre. In the theatre, the actors who are taking part in the movie and which you see on the screen, those actors are separate from you. You are not one of the actors. In this movie, this body of yours is also one of the actors. And that's the difference. There you sit in a theatre. Here you sit in one of the characters of the movie. This body of yours is also one of the characters in the movie that is happening outside. So you can't say that the rest is movie and I am not. You're also part of the movie. But the one sitting inside is not part of the movie. The one that can sit behind the eyes at third eye center is not part of the movie. That's the witness of the movie. And if you do that, you are in the same state as you watch a movie in the theatre. After all, when we are sitting in the theatre, nobody looks back to see how the pictures are coming. Nobody is seeing. We are all involved in what is happening on the screen. Nobody is even aware at that time, we forget at that time, that it is merely a shadow created by a projector behind us. There's nothing in front. The film is loaded into a projector and the film has been made earlier. It is not made that day. It is not being made when you are watching. It was made earlier. It is put in the projector behind. The light behind the projector is throwing the shadow through the projector on a screen. This is identical with our situation. If we go inside, not outside, go within, behind, if we go behind where we think we are and go inside, we will see that our mind is a projector. And the mind is loaded with a film that was made earlier, not today. That what we are seeing is not happening now. It happened earlier. We are seeing it now. We are experiencing it now. The whole of our destiny, which makes us feel it's happening now, we are taking decisions now, we are making choices now, is because we are sitting in one of the characters. They're supposed to make decisions now. But the movie was not made today. Movie was made earlier, film. That is why the movie will remain the same no matter how hard you try, unless you want to change the film from inside at the level of the mind. Then you can change it. But so long as you don't go to the projector and change the film, it'll be the same. The light that goes to the projector is the light of the soul. The light is soul. Soul throws the light through the mind. The mind has a pralabdha, destiny, filmed into it, and we see a movie. Now, this is not a theoretical proposition I'm making to you. I am saying check it out. And it does not require that you have to go to many levels of consciousness. It only requires you go inside where a third eye exists. Third eye is not a very difficult place to find because when you look at these two eyes, which are looking outside, these two eyes are combining two images. And that is why you create stereoscopic effect of distance. If you see with one eye, it becomes difficult. With two eyes, it looks there are some people near, some far, so you make a distance. The distance is being created by two images merging together. Where are they merging? When you're looking at things with the physical eyes, where are you seeing from? Have you ever thought of it? If you are not seeing from the eyes, you would see two images. Where is the merger taking place that the two images combine, and inside the head you're opening the eyes and seeing one image because they're merged? The merger is at the same place which we call third eye. No different place. Third eye is already the place from where we function. When we close our eyes and think about something, where do we think from? Something is happening in the head. We can even recall our thoughts going in. Thoughts are in language, in words, and a special thought is going, and we can close eyes. Where is it working? Where is the thought coming from? Same third eye center. Supposing you want to know that if you are not a physical body, you are just one point of consciousness. Where is that point? Again, close your eyes and figure out, are you in your hands, in your arms, in your legs, in your feet, in your heart? Where are you? You come back, you are behind the eyes, because that's where you are opening eyes and seeing. Therefore, you are the third eye center. You are right now at third eye center. You are never away from third eye center. And yet we keep on saying, go to third eye center. You're already there. Then what is the meaning of saying that good meditation means going to third eye center, sitting there and watching the world as a movie? What it means is our attention is scattered. Our attention is scattered all over. That is why we are not thinking of where we are. We lose awareness of where we are. We think of outside things. We associate all our activities of the self as belonging to the body. If somebody were to say, where are you sitting? I'll say, this chair. I won't say, my body is sitting in this chair. I am sitting inside the body, behind my eyes. I won't say that, although the truth is that if I'm not the body, I'm sitting behind the eyes. That is why it is not a case of going to a third eye center. Meditation is withdrawing your attention from everything else to your own self. And your own self is already where it's supposed to be. So third eye center should not be taken to be a very subtle place that you have to search for it. Because people close their eyes in meditation and they try to make a picture of themselves, that little picture of themselves, because the head is small, so make a little picture, say, where am I? I'm sitting now, I'm maybe in third eye, maybe. Do you know that picture is not you at all? You're making it up. Where are you? Where you're watching that picture from? With closed eyes, you're looking at a picture, you are that which is looking at the picture. And these are not these eyes that are looking at the picture. Something inside you is looking at that picture. That's where you are. When you become conscious that where are you looking at every picture around you, everything happening around you, you will find you can turn your head inside, look right, left, behind. It is not these eyes at all. There is a form of you which you haven't looked at too carefully. That is inside. If you look carefully, supposing you sit inside, say, I know I am here, and the rest of my head is around me, the body is below me, I am here. What am I doing? What do I look like? Do I have hands? Do I have arms? You will have everything. You will notice you have a replica of this body right inside you. And that body has the capacity to see, to touch, to smell, to hear. It has all the sense perceptions that this body we think has. Actually, this body has no sense perception. If that were not there, this body can never see, never touch, never smell, never hear anything. It is the internal body's sense perceptions that are making this body function and have those experiences. And yet we don't see who we are inside. I'm not talking of Atma or soul or anything. I am talking of the very first step of discovering that there is a part of us, a more real part of us, that is making this body alive. And they're sitting inside us. People say that man died, his soul went to another place. Soul never goes anywhere. Soul has never traveled anywhere. Soul has remained in its Sachkhand always. Soul creates experiences that move around it. When they say this soul went to another place, they're talking of that inner body. Suksham Sharir, astral body. Astral body contains all the sense perceptions. We also call it sensory body. And all the sense perceptions are intact. You will see in the meditation sessions that I hold that we do exercises where you can, with the inner body, have all the experiences and much more. For example, you can fly with that body. It has no gravity. It is a very, very body that you can just feel anytime when you know you are not this physical body, but you're inside. Now, why am I pointing this out is that if you want to do quality meditation with love and devotion, it should be done with that body. That's why I'm saying. You want to make a head start into getting inner experiences, it should start from that body, not from this one. So long as you think this is the body in which you are meditating, you will be held up for a very long time. To withdraw attention from this body is very difficult, but if you start from there, it's easier. I'm just giving a tip, practical tip for those who do actual meditation and want to have inner visions and inner experiences. That's how you can do it. Otherwise, it becomes a sort of blind faith that one day we will get something. We have got namdan, we got initiation from a guru, we will get something one day. No verification. Almost we convert such a beautiful opportunity into blind faith. It's a good thing to verify from time to time. Is there any truth in these things? Is it somebody's story that they have written? That there are different levels of experiences? Or are they accessible to us while we are here as human beings? They're all accessible to us as human beings. Only question of practice. The practice makes us perfect. And practice with that kind of thing which pulls us in. Not merely practice where we have to push all the time. Our meditation is pushing. Nothing pulls. But when we start with that body and with love and devotion, we are pulled from inside. There are two factors that pull us inside. One is when you meditate with love and devotion and you have a living guru, a living friend with higher awareness in your physical external life. And he is giving you unconditional love which you can recall and experience inside. When you do meditation, that's a big pull. You can try it out. The other pull is a pull from the self. A pull from your own self. Because we don't know what the self is. The self emanates a kind of a radiance, emanates something which is like a sound. When we hear about the word that was with God, a word made everything, and we call a guru word made flesh, when we say that the Shabad is creating everything, that Shabd is dharti, Shabd akash, Shabd is Shabad mein aprakash, the Shabad came out of Shabad. Where is that Shabad? We are not talking of a song, we are not talking of kirtan outside, we are talking of an inner Shabad. Where is that? The truth is, consciousness itself of the self generates that Shabad, generates that song, generates that music. It can be heard. Anybody can hear it. You have to just turn your attention inward, not ears, attention. Put your attention inside, you will see your own self is ringing inside and can be heard. It changes because it is not a sound. It becomes a sound when you are in physical body. That is why they use the word Shabad, Bani, word, Isme Ilahi, all kinds of words have been used in every religion. They're all representing the same thing. That there is something coming out of our own self, our own consciousness, which in the physical plane can be heard by us. That is why they use these words, because it's audible, it can be heard. Here at least it can be heard. Later on it becomes even more powerful, it's beyond hearing. But it still is the same power of the self, of consciousness of the soul. This resonance can be heard if you can put your attention sufficiently inside. You can watch the show outside earlier, but to put the attention enough to hear that sound that comes from yourself, not a sound that is coming from the body, sound from the bloodstream, sound from the breathing, sound from the heartbeat, not that sound. These are internal bodily, physical sounds. But when you hear the sound of your own consciousness, it has a pull. Very good pull. It sweeps you off your feet. It is the fastest way to see your inner self by vacating the consciousness of the body. These are two things that pull us inside. If you practice meditation like that, the quality of meditation improves, and you can personally verify all the statements that have been made in all the scriptures. You can verify what they meant. You can verify why they were said like this. You can verify what the structure in them means. Otherwise, our mind is constantly interpreting and giving different interpretations all the time. Mind can't have that experience. Mind can write about it, can read about it, can describe it in some way, to some extent. Experience is something different. They say that the inner experience is like a dumb guy eating a candy. And you say, how was the candy? He says, because he's dumb. We are like that. Inner experience is not so easy to explain because it sweeps you off, makes you see the world entirely differently. Here we are thinking that the world around us is real, has been there for a long time. We were born and we are now small part. After some years, 100 years or 90 years or some time, we will go away. And the world will still be here. That's what we believe. We all believe that because we believe in the reality of this world. When you find from inside that the world is being created by you, it does not exist. When you die, it withdraws and finishes. When you come, it again regenerates itself. Then it's a show being projected from inside. How will you explain anything to anybody? Nobody will understand you. If you try to explain too much, they will lock you up in the madhouse, in the nut house. That is why even these masters, with all the knowledge and enlightenment, they have told us in the form of stories. They make little stories so we can understand it. But they say the proof of the pudding lies in the eating. Go within and find out and check out. This is a very practical path. Don't convert even a pure spiritual path into another religion. We have done it again and again throughout history. Let's not do it again and take full advantage of a practical method of discovering who we are, where we belong, where we should be, what this whole show is about. It's very easy to do it. First step is to seek inside. Let the friend appear in your life who will hold your hand and with his unconditional love convince you who he is. Then practice and find the same friend inside. And before that, have other experiences more joyful than outer experiences, and the whole world will become a movie. This is the spiritual path. Spiritual path is not a blind belief, one day good things will happen, I have faith in this thing. That is blind faith. But to be able to check all these things with personal experience, that's the spiritual path. So I hope you will make this teaching or a particular spiritual path or a journey into a practical one and your practical experience into it. I would like to take up a few questions if they have been asked. I will read the question again. When a soul is going to be reborn in a human body, who or what draws one's sentient pool of karma to formulate the prarabdha karma of the next lifetime? Does the individual soul participate or have a say in this? Soul has no karma. Never had. Never will. Soul is not bound by karma. When soul, for the sake of experience, takes on a mind, the mind creates karma. The mind creates time and space. The mind creates events. And the mind places those events on a timeline, and we move on those events with the mind. And when we identify with the mind, we think we have karma. Soul has no karma. Therefore, we are born by an automatic process based upon the events which are laid down, based upon cause and effect, which is the law of karma. That if you do good, you will be rewarded. If you do bad, you are punished. And who decides whether it's good or bad? Your own mind. The mind with its conscience sits inside to decide which is good, which is bad. Who decides what is good or bad? Who trains the mind to determine good and bad? Society, religion, upbringing, parents, wherever the soul, mind, and sense is complex, has taken birth. That is what determines. What determines where you will take birth? A previous life or a series of previous lives. When it is series of previous lives, we call those accumulated karma sanchit karma, reserve karma. So we pull out from the reserve karma and bring out a prarabdha and come here. And in prarabdha, we go through the process of making choices, and then that creates the next life. And this becomes karman karma. Some of it can be accommodated in a future life, some cannot be. It goes again into sanchit. Sanchit is a very huge reserve of karma. Question is, if soul has no karma and only came to have this experience without karma, where did it get the first karma to start with? Where did the soul, as a person, as a being that made a choice, where did that happen? So when you study different levels of consciousness, you come to see that the soul, in order to have experience of time and space, entered what was given to it as a universal mind, in which all karma of all kinds, all possible combinations and permutations of different events and karma of lives was placed there. The soul had an opportunity to make a choice. It went through the choice and looked at, I am going to have a new experience. I am going to have a new ride in an amusement park. Should I go on the roundabouts or should I go on the Ferris wheel? I have a choice. Soul made a choice after seeing the lives that are available to go in. Soul picked up one life of a human being. But that life could not exist without previous karma. So the life, when it was picked up, had previous karma. Not that the soul had lived through it. It was part of the causation of that particular one life. Soul came on one life and simultaneously had all number of previous lives. Why? Because that life can't be made up without karma. The purpose of karma was to create one life, but it had to be justified by previous lives which the soul never had experience of. But once it got into one life, the prarabdha created by the previous life, which was not lived even, but was a shadow life, created this one life. Then in this one life, the soul, participating with the mind, began to make choices which led to the next life. Can we see all this? Is it possible to see all this? Of course it is. By reversing the process of coming back to see these experiences, we withdraw within ourselves, raise our consciousness to the level of what we call the causal plane or trikuti, where this choice was made. And you can there see how the choice was made by yourself and how you chose one piece and the rest of it was part of it. Not only the past lives, even future lives were part of it. Because the choices you were going to make were also fixed at that point. So it was a show where you went to see, where the whole film was completely loaded and you just picked up one DVD out of a series and decided to play it. This life we are leading is play of that one DVD. Why did we pick up a DVD that is so poor? Sometimes we are born poor, born sick, and had so much trouble in this life. How could we be so unintelligent, stupid to pick up this kind of a life? The reason was simple. First of all, we knew it's not real. It's just a show. Second was that we saw that one life we go into will lead to many other lives, And in one of those lives, we already made arrangements that we'll find the means to go back to our true home. We loved that. We said, what a wonderful life we have picked up, that although we go through all these experiences of up and down, but one day we'll be able to go back. This was seen by us when we picked up the first DVD. The DVD was not one life. It was infinite past lives, infinite future lives. We jumped into the middle in one life, and we go out of the middle when all the other lives are still sitting here. So that is why, who chose this? The question is, who draws the Sinchit pool to make our life? We draw it ourselves. We have drawn it in advance. We don't draw it now. We have drawn in advance. But what is the mechanism of doing it while we are here? That is what we did originally and set up all our destinies in advance. But when we are here and we say our karma is leading to this thing, our actions now are leading to this thing. So we have become local people, local citizens, and now we follow local law that we should be doing good, that we get good results, we should be doing bad, we'll be punished. This law we are operating now here. But when we die, then who determines that we will be taking this pralabdha next time and rest will go into Sinchit? We arranged an outside agency. An outside agency, and put one of the souls with the karma of that soul to be that agent who should be doing this. In Indian literature, they call him Dharmaraj, angel of death. That when you die, that we appear before an angel, appear before an entity that makes us look at our life. At death, very quickly we see the whole life backwards. That means we see just what happened before we die, all the way till our birth, and everything shines up. And the angel of death says, this is your karma, this is what you have to do, but I can pick up these elements from 3rd previous life, 10th previous life, 100th previous life. That's what happens. So we have ourselves placed our experience in the superintendence of an angel of death. And that's how the system is operating. When I was young and was practicing this meditation very in an elementary way, this point puzzled me very much. The point that puzzled me was that how can the angel of death, even with the best of computers that he may be having, decide that this person had a karma with A, B, C, D, and he is putting another life where you have to pay back that karma with the same A, B, C, D. That means he has to work with the karma of so many people to integrate them. How is it possible? We meet thousands of people in our life. Is that guy who's sitting to determine our next pralabdha, he's sitting with a computer and he's finding out the life of the thousands of people, so we interact and we meet again? It was a big puzzle for me. Much later I realized that these people are made up by us. And we make up the same people again to pay off the karma. They are not even involved. They have their own set of experiences. That these are unique experiences. Now that's very difficult to understand unless you really see the process by which these experiences are created from within. So long as they look like they're outside, it's very difficult to explain how we interact and integrate these different experiences with different people to create a new karma. But once it is done, we have our next life. The rest goes into Sinchit. It's a normal pattern. We have been going through this over and over again. And this itself can be verified. If you go to the causal stage in meditation, second stage in meditation, you can see all the past lives which you have actually lived and the past lives that were notional and created those lives which you never lived. You can also see the future lives that you never lived and never will live because you will go out. This is just a pattern here. And it's verifiable through meditation inside. These are all possible sources of our total awareness, total knowledge, sitting inside. No outside help, no regression. Don't have to go to somebody else for past life regression. They can make stories and convince you. But when you go inside, you actually see your own past, your own future, everything can be seen inside. Then you realize how the show is all set up. What happens when one is initiated by a perfect living master, a Satguru? He is operating from beyond the mind. He is operating from beyond this system of karma. When he says, I am your friend, we will go together to our true home, to Sachkhand, he bypasses the system. So when an initiate, a friend, accepted friend of a perfect living master dies, neither the angels of death come, nor the Dharmaraj comes, nor do you appear before anybody. Your own master appears. And he places you which is most appropriate for your journey back home. Not for just perpetuating the law of karma. So what does he do? How does he manage this? When he accepts you and says, I accept you, I initiate you, and the perfect living master says that, he burns and destroys the entire Sanchit karma right there and then. There's no possibility to pick up elements from any other life of the past except the life you're living now. So if he feels that you need to do more of the exercise because you are going on a spiritual journey, spiritual path as you have believed in. So if he feels you have to be here again, he follows the same law of karma and says, all right, you can have one more life and finish your work. That life will always be better than this one because it's only based upon the karma of one life. No previous life is involved. It'll always be better. They can't pick up anything from elsewhere. Normally, he won't do that. If you follow the simple instructions to the best of your ability, of your master, of your Sadguru, if you follow the simple instructions, you will never be born again. You will go, if any karma has to be paid off of this life that you created, it will be paid off in the next higher stage. It can be paid off. Karma is created only in wakeful human life. It can't be created anywhere else. Animals don't create it. Trees and plants don't create it. Insects don't create it. Birds don't create it. Angels don't create it. Only human beings who think they have a choice to make, create it with that experience of free will, free choice making. Out of 8.4 species recorded in our old scriptures, 84 lakh, 8.4 million. Only one species out of that creates karma, and all the rest pay off. We can create so much karma in one life that we can take thousands of lives to pay off. How is that? That is because karma is not created by action. Karma is created by intention to act. When you intend to act something in your head, karma is created. When you act upon it, more karma is created. So therefore, since our mind is constantly making plans, do this, do that, do this, I want to kill that person, you don't kill him, but you created karma. Karma is very quickly created by us and our mind, and that is why we create so much and we create a reservoir of the Sanchit karma. But once you are initiated by a perfect living master, you don't have to go through that. He appears and he only puts you if you are not able to follow his instructions in that particular life. If you totally ignore and go away, only then you may have to come again another life. If you go against him, if you kill your master, you may have to come third, fourth life. It's not that every time you have to come so many times. If you follow instructions to the best of your ability, they may not be perfect. None of us are perfect. To the best of our ability, if we do it, we don't come back again. So that is why this automatic